The truth settles slowly, like dust drifting through a quiet room. There comes a point in every man's life when he stops expecting the world to reflect what he was taught as a child. Many of us grew up with simple truths: be kind, work hard, do the right thing. Yet somewhere along the way, we discovered that the world responds to different laws. We realized that effort does not always equal reward, kindness does not always return as kindness, and honesty does not guarantee loyalty. Our fathers taught us what they could, often from a place of love and limitation, but they rarely spoke about the complex, unspoken structures that shape human behavior. They did not teach us the psychological economy of power, the quiet negotiations of status, fear, admiration, and self-interest that unfold in every room we walk into. They did not warn us that people interpret our goodness through the lens of their own wounds, desires, and needs. They did not prepare us for a world where intentions are invisible and perception is currency, where how you are seen often matters more than who you genuinely are. Machiavelli understood this deeply. His philosophy was not born from malice, it was born from observing the predictable patterns of human behavior, from watching how people move when they are afraid, ambitious, insecure, or hungry for validation. He believed that a man becomes grounded when he stops resisting the reality of the world and begins to understand it, when he accepts that people are not who we wish they were, but who they are under pressure. What you will hear now is not meant to harden your heart, but to relax your expectations. It is meant to release you from the fatigue of confusion and disappointment. It is meant to replace emotional chaos with inner steadiness and naive optimism with quietly rooted wisdom. This is a journey inward, slow, reflective, and without urgency. You are not required to agree with every idea. You are only asked to observe what resonates with the life you have lived. Allow each truth to unfold without resistance, the way a dawn unfolds over a still landscape. You are not here to become colder. You are here to become clearer. And the clearer you become, the more peaceful your life becomes, because you finally stop arguing with reality and start moving in harmony with it. Point 1. People respond to how you appear, not who you are. Machiavelli observed a universal truth. People cannot see your intentions, only your behavior. Psychology confirms this through the halo effect, the confirmation bias, and the brain's tendency to make rapid judgments based on visual cues. Your father may have taught you the importance of being a good person, but he may not have told you that goodness alone does not communicate strength. People evaluate your posture, your tone, your confidence, the steadiness of your speech, the boundaries you maintain, and the dignity with which you carry yourself. You may have noble intentions, but if you present yourself timidly, people subconsciously categorize you as lesser, not because of who you are, but because of how their brain interprets your presence. Machiavelli would gently remind you, humans respond to signals. A lowered gaze signals compliance. A hesitant tone signals uncertainty. Over-apologizing signals self-doubt. These subconscious cues shape how people treat you long before they understand your inner character. The remedy is not aggression, it is awareness. You learn to walk with quiet assurance, to speak slowly and deliberately, and to look people in the eye, not as a performance, but as a reflection of your self-respect. Over time, your external presence becomes congruent with your internal integrity. This alignment creates a sense of stability that others intuitively respond to. People treat you not according to your heart, but according to your signal. Strength communicates safety. Boundaries communicate value. Presence communicates identity. Become intentional about the signals you broadcast, and the world will slowly reshape itself around them. Point 2, being too nice is often read as weakness. Your father may have taught you kindness, generosity, and tolerance. These are noble traits, but Machiavelli would explain that the human mind is not wired to correctly interpret pure kindness. Psychologically, people unconsciously test those who do not assert boundaries. When you are endlessly patient, endlessly forgiving, and endlessly accommodating, the brain of the observer interprets it as a lack of inner strength, not consciously, but instinctively. Niceness, when unprotected, looks like submission. It resembles fear. It resembles neediness. Over time, others begin to expect your compliance. They feel entitled to it and they lose respect for you. This is not because they are cruel. It is because the human mind organizes social hierarchies based on perceived dominance and perceived confidence. Machiavelli's lesson here is quiet but firm. Kindness must be held by a spine. True kindness does not require you to shrink, tolerate mistreatment, or abandon your boundaries. In psychology, this is known as assertive compassion, the ability to remain gentle while also protecting your energy. You do not need to argue. You do not need to raise your voice. You simply stop overextending. You decline without guilt. You say no without offering long explanations. And slowly the world recalibrates its interpretation of you. Niceness becomes a virtue only when it coexists with strength. Without strength, people do not feel safe with you, they feel superior to you. When you reclaim balance, they feel respect. Point 3, loyalty has an expiration date in the minds of most people. Your father may have taught you that loyalty is forever, that friendships last for life, and that people will stand by you if you stand by them. But Machiavelli would whisper a harder truth. Loyalty is situational. Psychology views loyalty as an exchange of emotional, practical, or social benefits. People remain loyal only while it aligns with their internal incentives, whether those incentives are comfort, convenience, fear, admiration, or shared purpose. When those incentives vanish, loyalty naturally dissolves. This is not betrayal. It is human behavior. Most people are motivated by self-preservation, not moral continuity. They shift as their needs shift, and they detach when attachment no longer serves their identity narrative. Machiavelli teaches you not to resent this, but to anticipate it. When someone leaves your life, it is not necessarily because you failed. It is because their inner compass changed direction. Understanding this prevents unnecessary heartbreak. It protects you from investing deeper than the relationship can sustain. And most importantly, it teaches you to anchor loyalty within yourself, not in the fluctuating commitments of others. You begin to observe people as dynamic systems, not fixed promises. And in doing so, you develop realistic expectations. This realism does not make you cynical, it makes you steady. You stop forcing people to stay, you stop chasing those who drift away. You accept the natural cycles of human attachment. In this acceptance, you find peace. Point 4, silence is a tool, not a void. Silence is one of the most misunderstood forces in human interaction. Many men grow up believing that silence reflects disinterest, weakness, or lack of contribution. They feel pressured to respond quickly, to fill every gap in conversation, and to prove themselves through constant verbal presence. But Machiavelli understood that silence is often the most strategic choice a man can make. Psychologically, silence expands space. It slows emotional escalation. It reveals intentions. It draws truth out of others more effectively than confrontation. Silence allows you to observe without reacting, to respond without rushing, and to understand without projecting. A silent man is difficult to manipulate because he does not feed emotional bait. He does not reveal his vulnerabilities prematurely. He does not signal desperation or insecurity. Instead, he becomes a stable reference point, calm, grounded, and attentive. People trust those who do not leak emotional chaos. Silence also strengthens your internal authority. It teaches you patience. It teaches you emotional containment. It teaches you the subtle art of timing. When you speak less, your words carry more weight. When you react less, your presence becomes more defined. Silence is not emptiness, it is power stored, not wasted. Over time, people begin to approach you with more respect. They choose their words more carefully around you. They recognize the depth of your restraint. And in this recognition, your influence quietly grows. Point 5. You are punished, more for being honest than for being strategic. As children, many of us were taught to value honesty above all else. But in adulthood, we discover a softer, more uncomfortable truth. Honesty is a tool, and like any tool, it must be used skillfully. Brutal honesty, delivered without timing or emotional intelligence, often creates unnecessary conflict. People punish honesty when it threatens their self-image, their ego, or their constructed narrative. This is why Machiavelli advised leaders to be careful with truth, not to deceive maliciously, but to understand that truth must be tailored to the readiness of the listener. Psychology calls this social calibration, the ability to sense the emotional environment and adjust accordingly. Being strategic does not mean being manipulative. It means protecting your peace. It means choosing when to speak openly and when to remain silent. It means recognizing that not every truth is owed to everyone. Direct honesty is appropriate in trusted relationships. Strategic restraint is appropriate everywhere else. When you learn to differentiate the two, your life becomes smoother, your relationship becomes clearer, and your emotional burden becomes lighter. You stop volunteering truths that others cannot honor. You stop explaining yourself to those who haven't earned access to your inner world. And through this selectivity, you protect both your dignity and your peace. Point 6. Pain is information, not injustice. Your father may have comforted you through pain, but he may not have explained the deeper function of pain. Machiavelli, however, saw pain as structural. Pain is feedback. Pain reveals the gap between how you wish the world worked and how it actually works. Pain exposes misaligned expectations. Pain warns you when you have placed your trust in the wrong hands. Pain signals when your boundaries are too loose, your discipline too scattered, or your environment too chaotic. Psychology views pain as a messenger, a neurological and emotional alert system designed to guide your growth. When you stop treating pain as unfair, you begin to study it. You ask, what is this moment teaching me? Where did I ignore reality? What pattern am I repeating? What boundary did I fail to enforce? Pain is not a punishment, it's a compass. Every painful experience sharpens your perception. Every disappointment teaches you discernment. Every loss reveals the depth of your resilience. Machiavelli would not tell you to avoid pain. He would tell you to understand it. Once you understand pain, you stop fearing it. And once you stop fearing it, your mind becomes free, steady, observant, and unshaken by the shifting tides of life. Point 7. Power comes from self-restraint, not force. Many men believe power is expressed through dominance, aggression, or control. But Machiavelli and modern psychology agree. True power is the ability to restrain yourself when others cannot. The man who reacts impulsively becomes predictable. Predictable people are easy to influence, easy to trigger, and easy to defeat. Restraint creates psychological distance. It gives you time to think, time to analyze, and time to choose your response consciously rather than emotionally. This is known in psychology as response inhibition, the quiet discipline of pausing before acting. The more you practice restraint, the stronger your internal authority becomes. You stop getting entangled in unnecessary arguments. You stop giving energy to provocation. You stop allowing others to pull you into their emotional storms. People begin to sense your steadiness. They notice that you are not easily swayed or shaken. In this steadiness, they feel both respect and curiosity. A restrained man becomes a mystery, not because he is hiding anything, but because he is not ruled by emotional impulses. And in a world full of reactivity, that alone is a form of power. Point 8, not everyone is meant to be saved. Perhaps the hardest lesson your father never taught you is this: you cannot save people from themselves. Many men spend years trying to fix others, partners, friends, siblings, believing that love or patience or sacrifice will change them. But Machiavelli understood that people change only when the consequences of their actions outweigh the comfort of their habits. You cannot rescue someone who is committed to their dysfunction. You cannot convince someone to value what they are determined to neglect. You cannot force maturity onto someone who is not ready to receive it. Psychology calls this the autonomy principle. Every person is responsible for the direction of their own life. And when a man forgets this, he becomes a quiet prisoner of other people's chaos. So much of your suffering came from believing that your effort could override someone else's choices. You carried burdens that were never yours, fought battles that did not belong to you, and poured energy into people who were not investing in themselves. Machiavelli would tell you that misdirected loyalty is not virtue. It is self-sabotage. The more you try to save someone who is not ready, the more you drain the strength you need for your own path. But when you release the burden of saving others, your energy returns to you. You become lighter, clearer, more aligned with your true direction. You begin to understand the difference between compassion and self-sacrifice. Compassion honors your humanity, while self-sacrifice, when misplaced, erodes it. You learn to let people face their consequences without stepping in to cushion the fall. You recognize that growth often begins at the point where discomfort becomes impossible to ignore. Walking away is not abandonment. Sometimes it is the most loving and necessary act, for yourself and even for them. Not everyone is meant to be saved. Some are meant to awaken through their own struggle, through the quiet collision between their choices and their consequences. Your role is not to interfere. Your role is to maintain your peace, protect your energy, and keep moving toward the man you are becoming. This is where your true strength begins. As we reach the end of this quiet journey, allow these lessons to settle softly within you. Nothing here is meant to rush you or pressure you into transformation. Change, in its most authentic form, occurs quietly, almost invisibly. It is the gradual reorganization of your understanding, the subtle rewiring of how you interpret the world, and the gentle but firm strengthening of your inner boundaries. Machiavelli was often misunderstood, yet his greatest insights were not about controlling others, but about understanding yourself in relation to the world. He taught that clarity reduces suffering, that awareness creates stability, and that a man who sees reality without distortion becomes unshakable. When you learn to remove the fog from your perception, you also remove half of the emotional weight that life places upon you. There is no need to force these truths into your life. They will integrate slowly, like water seeping into dry soil. In time, they will shape your decisions, your relationships, and your inner posture in ways that feel natural, not forced. This process is not dramatic. It is steady, quiet, and deeply internal. Growth does not announce itself. It reveals itself only when you realize you are no longer thrown off balance by the things that once controlled you. You are not expected to master everything at once. You are simply invited to observe your habits, your expectations, your responses, and your patterns. Awareness alone is progress. A man who notices is already evolving. And as your awareness grows, you begin to understand that strength is not loud and wisdom is not rushed. As you move forward, carry this gentle truth with you. You do not need to become harder. You only need to become clearer. Clarity protects you. Clarity guides you. Clarity stabilizes your path. And with every quiet decision, every restrained reaction, and every boundary honored, you step deeper into a version of yourself that feels grounded, mature, and quietly powerful. Take a breath now. Feel the stillness. Let the noise of the world fade just a little, and walk gently back into your life, not with haste, not with fear, but with a calm understanding of the laws that govern human behavior and the strength that comes from seeing things as they truly are. You are not the same man who first pressed play. You are slower in your reactions, steadier in your thoughts, and clearer in your expectations. That is enough for today, more than enough. If you ever need to revisit these truths, they will be here, waiting, unchanging, patient. Until then, move with intention, and let the quiet wisdom you've gained become the foundation of your next chapter.